Tell him O shot you. Tell him O shot you.
The truck of the Lambie can be stuffed in some candy. This ain't a label, Curtis. I'm freaking with family. Must walk away. They're right behind them bars that's gated. Hopped out the casket, bastard, reincarnated. Yep, so have a seat. This gonna be a masterpiece. I have to beef. He look like a gorilla with rabbit teeth. Bugs, monkey, act hard with a crack guard. The Mac bras, that video in Queens. It's your backyard. Curtis was messing with your head, bad. You dead mad, but dad security with red flags. You banging files, shooting rocks and signs my way. Fine play, I keep it neutral, but my family's not Trey. Woo, my AR lights that stay to fight from day to night. When I smack the Lighty brothers, Dave and Mike. Believe me, ho, you can't see me though. Jimmy ain't the president, he the CEO. Zeke is the president, it's evident. He'll cock his spray. Santa underboss, I sign off like Dr. Dre. I'm up with Zopan too. What up? Stop by saying. Grab the Coco Macaque, Tessozo, rock away. I extended the clip. Never be friends with you pricks. Shout to a real Queens dude. You know Kenneth McGriff. He ran from police. You run with police. You ain't from Southside. You about to get your mouth wide. Rewind the DJ. You ain't 50 Cent from BK. Yes, he deserved to be nervous. Damn, show some courtesy, Curtis. Rewind the DJ. You ain't 50 Cent from BK. Yep, he deserved to be nervous. Damn, show some courtesy, Curtis. Ayo, check the tail. Girls break their neck and nails. Just for me to sex they tail. But let's talk record sales. Wells, 800, Jim, 400. I cop more cribs, more cars, got more blunted. For the year I rock the rock, so stop it, Doc. You cop a top. My ninjas watch them ball. The dudes I watch them flop. Yep, so beware, dog. I'm trying to be clear. Banks brick, my brick, buck ain't been out for 3 years. Let me be fair. I hop up off a sweet lair. Right to Lennox, ain't no sand, but I'm on my beach chair. These are not tails, and dog, we not frail. You on club in New York, you party out in Scottsdale. I can't be clown. Beef dog, goddamn, we down. And how you living? You living Tyson, hand me down. Plus, you can't be found. I have you take gagged and bound. Axe around. I never liked the circus, so I clap a clown. Rewind the DJ. You ain't 50 Cent from BK. Yes, he deserved to be nervous. Damn, show some courtesy, Curtis. Rewind the DJ. You ain't 50 Cent from BK. Yep, he deserved to be nervous. Damn, show some courtesy, Curtis. Hey, yo, man, thanks for all the shout-outs. For my dudes, you keep shouting them, I love it, baby. They're my brothers. I ain't hear you say Banks' name in a minute. Talk about Constant Graveyard, you just signed off for Prodigy to go there. Hey, yo, P, he a sucker. Get away from that dude, B. You ain't got no swag with buck teeth. You know how you ain't got no swag? Whoever let you sign off on them G-Unit tank tops is stupid, just like your dumb ass. Them is Brazil tops. Whoever wore that outside was a homo. Gay ass nigga. Hey, yo, stop calling my probation officer, too. Why you talking about my probation? You trying to get me locked up, Curtis? Hey, yo, Curtis, you really trying to get me up? You said something about my probation on your song. Next thing I know, my probation officer called me today, said he need to see me. Hey, yo, if I go to jail, Curtis put me in jail. It's crazy. I gotta go report to probation next Thursday. I ain't supposed to report for 3 weeks. I gotta go Thursday, and he mentioned my probation. Hey, yo, let me get off this mic now, because I know how he get down. Rat ass. That's a true story. That's not even a joke. I'm dead serious. Probation. The truck of the Lambie can be stuffed in some candy.
We're A-Game, a 100% Black-owned company with an all-natural product and world-class customer service. We're headquartered in California, and we manufacture, package, and ship right here in the United States. We ship to more than 125 distributors worldwide. Normal processing is 2 to 3 days, and we employ virtual tracking until our product is received. So, no matter where you are in the world, here we come, and we're bringing your A-game.
What's going on, world? DS1 Ross, and we back here on SHEEPSTAYSLEEPTV. Shout out to everybody who support the platform, man. Much love. Salute to everybody in the building right now. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody, man. Salute, salute, salute. Tuned in right now. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button, man. Make sure you hit the like button. After you hit the like button, make sure you share the show. Share the show. It's very important that you share this show. If you'll be catching the playback, this your first time here, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I drop some new content right here on SHEEPSTAYSLEEPTV. Shout out to the masculine mercenaries, man. Shout out to the masculine mercenaries. One love to all my madam mercenaries. And we back here on SHEEPSTAYSLEEPTV. I'm your host, DS1 Ross, man. Peace to everybody in the building. I see y'all. Make sure y'all smash that like button, man, and share the show. Y'all see today's show, man. Y'all see today's show. The game is the game. The game is the game. Now, I know y'all probably think I'm going to come here and, get in my fat Mac bag, but that's not what we doing today. Today, I'm going to be actually breaking down one of my favorite series, man. I'm going to be doing this for the next couple of streams, so y'all follow me, man. But I'm a very huge supporter of The Wire, and I just wanted to bring this to y'all because I know a lot of us watch The Wire. I know a lot of us lived in the Wire type of environment, and I think we really don't pay attention to how in depth The Wire went when it came to breaking down the life of urban inner city youth. I don't think, see, I'm just the type of guy that I learned to not look at everything like it's separate. I learned to look at things from a holistic perspective as I got older. And when I watched The Wire, that ain't no different or too much different from my block that I grew up on. The same things that I experienced and my friends experienced, it is similar, very a lot alike to what went on in the series The Wire. Now, y'all have to understand that The Wire represented and it constantly depicted, and I think we didn't examine The Wire the way we should have, because a lot of us glorified it. And I didn't glorify it because when I was really into The Wire and watching The Wire, you know, back in them times, I was doing and I was partaking in things that was going on in the show. So, you know, me and my peoples, we used to sit back and do what we do and watch The Wire. So I was never really granted the luxury, like a lot of people, to really watch The Wire the way a lot of people were able to watch it, because of the situation that I was in at that time. And when you around, you know, certain levels of guys, you know, things are viewed a different way. Life is looked at in a different way. The way you move and the way you present yourself and the things that you value is taken very seriously, or the guys that I was around at that time, you know, they were serious guys. They was about their business. So I wasn't allowed to just sit around and look at The Wire like a fan, because I was in the game. You see? But the reason why I brought that point up is because a lot of us didn't sit back and really look at what The Wire really showed us. It really spoke to a bigger problem. It spoke to a systematic problem. It spoke to a spiritual problem. Because in season 4 of The Wire, as y'all know, that is the season where they introduced the school and they showed all of the children growing up, going through school. And they also depicted the dysfunction that a lot of those children had. So before Mike became the Michael the killer, you saw Michael's spiritual value, his spiritual development. You saw his spiritual development. You saw how he went from being the quiet kid that just wanted to get out the way to being a frontline hitter. See, you have to understand that takes a process. And throughout the series, if you pay attention to Michael's life, you'll understand why he became this way. You see? And this is what we have to point out. Because, see, the reason why today's title is The Game is the Game is because what they were prepping you at the end of season 3, going into season 4, was they were showing us how it's a revolving door. Because if you go back to season 1, Avon and Weebay and all them guys, Bodie, they was young dudes. Bodie, Peanut, Fat Boy Chris, all of them were Naaman, Mike, Naaman, Kennard. That was Bodie in them when they was little. You see? So they were showing you how, from the beginning, how these kids are cultivated. Because guess what? When Mike and them was young, remember, he got to know Bodie because Bodie started hustling for Marlo. This is before Mike became the leader. So they're showing you how these children develop into what they become. And they show you how the educational system failed these kids, because the same people who was in the educational system who was teaching them, these people, before they was in the schools, these were the same police officers who were in their neighborhoods, who they had to see and deal with every day. See, a lot of y'all probably don't remember, but the guidance counselor, Bunny, he used to be the police chief. He's the one who said he wanted to legalize drugs. He wanted to legalize drugs. But there's constantly a war on drugs. Why would y'all wage war on something that at the end of the day y'all gonna legalize? You see, The Wire depicted all of this. The Wire depicted the corruption in the local politics in Baltimore. It showed this. This is why they wanted to legalize drugs. They figured if they legalize it, it'll slow down the illegal activity. It'll slow down the crime. You see? Think about this. Think about what this does to the people. Think about what this does to the spiritual value of a person. And I'm not talking about the guys that's out there, or the homeless people. I'm talking about your everyday working people that come out their door every day and gotta see this stuff. And no matter how much they go and vote and all of that, nothing ever changed. Because it was corruption in the local politics. The politicians was corrupt. They were all corrupt. The police were corrupt. You had McNulty, he staged a whole fake serial killer and tried to pin it on Avon and them just to make a case. This is the type of stuff that's going on. And this is the stuff that's always been going on. The game is the game. This is why they say the only thing that changes the players. The game don't change. The game stay the same. See, they showed you this from seasons 1 through 5 in The Wire. Only thing that changed was the players. Only thing that changed was the young dudes grew up, and the younger dudes who watched them grow up grew up. That's all. You see? And y'all have to understand that they keep the hood, or what we call the hood, they keep it the way it is because what it tells us as a people is we have no value. It tells black men, every time you walk out your house and you see what you see, it tells you from the time you were a young boy that this is what you have to become. This is what you value. You see? It tells a little boy that if you want the hottest girl in the neighborhood, selling drugs has to be your profession. Robbing and killing committing crime has to be your profession. Because see, that is what being a drug dealer is. It's a profession. You know how we know it's a profession? Because drug dealing, robbery, murders, rape, all of those things, crime is what built the American economy. Okay? Being a patriot for this country is fighting for some shit that they stole. It's defending debauchery. You see? So crime created America's wealth. And guess who they blamed? They threw all the blame on the black man. It's a war on drugs. We got to get these criminals off the streets. See, I bet a lot of y'all didn't realize, or if y'all didn't know, that Weebay, which is Avon's right-hand man, He was the shooter. He had a son. His son name was Naaman. Now, Naaman, see, we're gonna show you how the game is the game and the only thing changes the players. See, remember back in season 3, no, back at the end of season 2, back at the end of season 3, when Avon and them went to jail. Because remember, they went to jail. Remember when they matter of fact, I think that's the end of season 2, if I'm not mistaken. His warehouse got raided. When their warehouse got raided, they got caught with a bunch of guns and explosives and shit. Weebay, which is Naaman's father, he took the rap for all the guns. When the feds came in, he said, everything in this warehouse is mine. And they gave Weebay life in prison, life without parole. So now, starting from season 4, you can see Weebay's son growing up. But he's growing up and he has to live up to his dad's reputation because everybody know who his father was. So what Naaman did was Naaman created a defense mechanism for himself. And he started to act like a thug, but he wasn't a thug. He was a good kid. But later on, we found out that his mother, this speaks to your family value, family, and his dwelling value, his household. His mother told him, if you don't go outside and bring some goddamn money in this house, you are not allowed to stay here. Because your father's in jail and he's never coming home, so now you're the man of the house. So at 13, 14 years old, he was forced to be outside and to hustle. And let me show you how crazy and dysfunctional his mama was. Being that Naaman come from the old law, he come from the old school. His father is Weebay. See, Avon and them is the old regime. See, by time Naaman and all of them grew up, Marlo and them crew was running Baltimore. See? But being that Weebay still had the city on lock, his son was able to sell his own packages. His son didn't have to give nobody his money. So basically, he was selling drugs for his mama. He was selling drugs for his mama. Why? Because his mama couldn't deal with the fact that her drug dealing ass, kingpin, killing ass boyfriend, baby father, was never coming home, and she had to do something with her life. See, she wasn't used to working for nothing. See? See, the game didn't change to her. She didn't change the game and employ some values into her life, because now her protection is gone. her provision is gone. But instead of her doing that, you know what she did? She turned around and wanted to turn her son into his father. But see, nobody recognized that. This is why the game is the game. The only thing changes the players. And this is what the system reinforces. It reinforces it. And you know how they show you? You know where they show you they reinforced it at? In the politics series, where they show you how corrupt the politicians were. And they showed you in season 5 with the media and how they used the media to program the minds of the people. If you go back and watch season 5, the guy who ran the Baltimore Sun, he was telling his writers to make up stories, to just have lies, to just write lies. You see? So with all of these things coming together, right? How do we solve or begin to mitigate some of these issues? How? We have to first employ the internal 5 life values. See, because it was something wrong with Naaman's mother's spirit for her to know that her son's father is never coming home from the shit he done in the streets. And for her to turn around and to make her son into doing the same thing. Something is spiritually wrong with her. Something is mentally wrong with her. See, it speaks to a problem that we have to address, but we have to know how to pinpoint the problem. See, a lot of times we get up here and we could sit up here and just throw point for point for point, but can you be exact on what the problem is? You see? See? And these problems are not directly being pinpointed and addressed. You see? Naaman ran out and he did what he had to do in the streets because he had a family problem. His family value was lacking and his dwelling value was lacking. Where he lived, he didn't want to go home because his mother made him feel uncomfortable. His mother abused him. You see? See, y'all got to understand. Y'all got to understand why I say we got to heal before we build. Y'all have to understand why I say this, why it's important. You see, Mike, the reason why Michael became who he was because he had family and dwelling problems also. See, Michael became the monster he became because he felt like if he didn't become a predator, he will always be prey. You see? He always felt like if I don't become what they are, I'm gonna die. So it was fight or flight for Mike. And that was because what was going on in his household. And if y'all remember, Michael and his little brother was being molested. He was being molested. They was being molested by the men who was coming in the house doing drugs with their mama. And because Mike was molested from the time his little brother started getting molested, it developed the anger in him. And he became a predator. He became a predator. See? But Mike always had a heart. This is why they said that Mike became the new Omar. Because if you just pay attention and you just watch how Omar moved, you can tell he dealt with the same thing. That's why he participated in homosexuality and a lot of the things he did. It's because of what happened to him when he was a kid. Go back to season 4 when Omar was sitting there talking to I forgot his name. I never could remember his name. The big dude with the short cut. They went to school together. Him and Omar was in the same school. And he was telling Omar how shit got worse over time. And how nobody cared about these children. That shit made Omar cry. Because nobody cared about him. Nobody cared about him. See? Nobody cared. Nobody cares. The system, your family. And this is what we have today dealing with black people, man. Especially black men. We black men, we hate each other. And we hate each other not because it's a natural hatred. It is because we don't know how to express love to one another. That's why. We don't know how to express love. That is because we weren't taught to do it. We weren't taught how. We didn't see it as much as we supposed to. See? But addressing the internal 5 of the 10 life values can help you with this. Because what do they say? You have to love yourself in order to love anyone else, right? So if you don't love your brother, that's because you don't love yourself. Because they say you should want for your brother as you should what? Want for yourself. When we were taught do for self, that doesn't mean the individual. That means self means you and your kind. So we have to understand what happened for that to be broken. A lot of us talk about, can we go back to the old days of hip hop when they had a message in the music? But we have to understand, where was the breakdown? Where was the breakdown? How did the breakdown happen? See, and the breakdown was always there. You always had a sellout around because you're always going to have men that are around who are willing to bargain, the internal 5 values of the 10 life values and turn for the external 5. You see? And this is how the game stays the game. Because we don't even understand how the game is played. The game is played by them constantly breaking you down through a value system. They're teaching you what to value. So they keep your neighborhoods messed up because they want you to value debauchery. They want you to value being impoverished. And what they'll do is they'll hire a couple Negroes from the hood, give them a job, a profession, and they'll be lifetime drug dealers to continue to promote what they want us to promote, which is black men ain't shit, black people ain't shit. See? You see? But we have to understand what we're representing when we're doing what we're doing. You see? Y'all got to understand this. We are expecting people to value us when we don't value ourselves. And when I say value ourselves, I don't mean saying excuse me in the goddamn line, at the goddamn supermarket. No. I'm talking about employing a system and working within that system. See, I've always said this. I questioned the pro-blacks this years ago. I asked them, so if we get rid of the white supremacist system, what system will we use to replace it? You ask any of these pro-black Negroes that, they don't have an answer for you. They don't know where to start. They don't know where to start. I'm going to tell you where it starts at. It starts with values. It starts with values. It starts with the system of values. And underneath each value, there's subcategories under that. So if you dealing with a wild, untamed, just a chaos being. When you dealing with a person like that, you should expect to see murder, mayhem, bloodshed, famine. You should expect to see this dealing with this type of being because this is what they value. This is what they value. See, the game is the game. Only thing that changes is the players. See, if you go back to The Wire, shit stayed the same. The only thing changed was the players throughout every season. But you can go back like I did in this stream and you can mix and match and see the commonalities in the characters. You see? I bet y'all didn't even know that Kennard, the one who killed Omar, he wanted to be Omar since he was a little boy. See, because Omar was a street legend. Like a lot of us know them if we grew up in the hood. A lot of y'all had a neighborhood boogeyman where y'all heard stories about him from when y'all was young, of him committing atrocities, and he right in your neighborhood. And you only see him late at night or real early in the morning. That was Omar. And from young, Kennard heard stories about him. If you go back, there's an episode, I think it was season 3, where Kennard is a little boy playing outside, reenacting a shootout that he saw Omar having in the streets. Him and his friends was reenacting the shootout. So growing up, he wanted to be a killer because that's all he saw. That was glorified to him. Just like all these kids want to be rappers now because that's what's glorified to them. Just like at one point, everybody wanted to be a snowman. Everybody wanted to be a trapper because that's what was glorified to us. That is what we were taught to value. We were taught to value crime. This is why we lived a life of crime. See, if you was born in the crack era and lived through the 90s and grew up in the 90s, you watched all the gangster shit. You watched all the big time hustling flicks. This is why me and my homies, we chose certain paths later on in our life because it was already predetermined for us in a lot of ways. I grew up playing and rummaging through crack valves because there was so much crack being sold on my block. A New York City kingpin just came home. He's from my neighborhood. He just got out the feds. He's from my neighborhood. He's not a Brooklyn kingpin street legend. He's a New York City legend. The original 50 Cent is from my neighborhood. The real 50 Cent, not Curtis. Not Curtis. Not Curtis. The real 50 is from my neighborhood. I grew up with his daughter. You see? I grew up seeing this shit. See? So the game is going to always be the game. See? The game is going to always be the game, but it's all about what you value. And we have to change what we value as men. Because what's going to keep us on them streets hustling and selling drugs is not us having to feed our children, but us chasing hoes. That's what's going to keep us on them corners, man. We got to stop chasing hoes. Because we don't got to stand on them corners to feed our babies no more. That's a cap. That's a cap. I bet not hear no nigga say he got to stand on the corner to feed his kids. That's a cap. That's a cap. You could get on Facebook Live and beg people to send you cash apps. I see people do it every goddamn day. So don't tell me you got to be on them streets. That's a cap. You can sit right on Facebook and tell people you hungry and you ain't got no money and you can make about $100 a day. So that's a cap. Got to change what you value, brothers. We got to change what we value, man. If we value our children, if we value our women, our family, we got to first fix our spiritual value. Because the lack of healing and the lack of us addressing traumas individually speaks to why our family dynamic is messed up. Because a family ain't nothing but a group of individuals. See? So our family dynamic is messed up, just like I discussed, because our spiritual value is jacked up. And if your spiritual value is jacked up, your parents' value is going to be jacked up. Your parents' value is going to be jacked up. Your dwelling value is going to be jacked up. And your dwelling value and your family value it goes hand in hand, because a lot of times you live with family, or the people that live with you, you consider them family. So if you grew up in a dysfunctional household, then we have what we see in The Wire today. And then when you add all the other nuances, when you add the media, when you add the educational system, when you add the corrupt police and politicians. Come on, man. We got to heal before we build. See? See, the game will change once the players change the game. The game ain't got to stay the same. It don't. It don't. We could change the game, black men. We could, you know what we could change? We could change the game that we play. That's what we could change. We could change the game that we play. See, we don't have to play their game. We could play our game. See? Because we didn't create their game. So we can't dictate how that game go. But we could play our game. See? If this is a chessboard, each individual has to play their game. Just play our game. And the way we do that is following a system that we created. See? That's important. That is when we can demand cooperation and submission. But if your woman ain't up under a system that you follow, that you live by, that you enforce, if she ain't up under that, then what you talking about? What you talking about? See? If you don't employ your value system, which is the 10 life value system, your household it's not going to be where you want it to be. These are just facts. And we got to just deal with truth, man. We got to deal with truth. So shout out to everybody in the building. I appreciate y'all for tuning in today. Much love. I appreciate y'all for tuning into today's show. You enjoyed today's show, Cash App $SheepStaySleepTV. It's Cash App $SheepStaySleepTV is where you can go to support today's show. Cash App $SheepStaySleepTV is where you can go to support today's show. Shout out to everybody in the building. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you smash that share button. Make sure you share the show. It's very much appreciated, man. I'm your host, DS1 Ross, of Sheep Stay Sleep TV. You have tuned into today's show. But before we go, as we all know, this episode has been sponsored by A-Game. A-Game, a herbal male solution. A herbal male solution. Fellas, hit the link in the description box. Let's get on this A-Game. Let's get on this A-Game lifestyle, family. Hit the link in the description box at the checkout. Promo code, type in sheep and the number 10. Sheep and the number 10. The number 10. Sheep and the number 10 as the promo code to get a discount off on your purchase. Shout out to everybody who has supported A-Game thus far. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. Welcome to the A-Game lifestyle. If you would like to give your testimony, please email me, dsalliance1@gmail.com. That's dsalliance1@gmail.com. I appreciate y'all once again for tuning in. Shout out to the masculine mercenaries. One love to all my madam mercenaries. Thanks to everybody for tuning in, everybody who subscribed, all my new subscribers. Welcome to Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Shout out to everybody who donated today. I appreciate all the love and the support. I'm your host, DS1 Ross, and I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
For over 2 decades, we focused on one philosophy, the 10 life values. A system that helps us examine our lives, our vision, our leadership. Our products and our services are exclusively for men, all men. The ones who teach and mentor our kids, maintain our livestock and grow our food, make and repair our products, saves us from catastrophe, and protect our nation. The 10 life values are woven into every product and service we create. Because at the end of the day, our vision is to see all men from every community equipped with the appropriate processes and the necessary tools to be excellent fathers and the best version of themselves they can be.
We're A-Game, a 100% Black-owned company with an all-natural product and world-class customer service. We're headquartered in California, and we manufacture, package, and ship right here in the United States. We ship to more than 125 distributors worldwide. Normal processing is 2 to 3 days, and we employ virtual tracking until our product is received. So, no matter where you are in the world, here we come, and we're bringing your A-Game.